So, Mickey,
Yes.
this is Doc,
Uh-huh.
and
Hi.
why are we doing this conversation and doing videos about healing and second opinion? Why do you want to do this?
I want to do this because I know what I felt like when I discovered that I had cancer 9
Mm-hmm.
months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt totally lost because all of a sudden you can find yourself in the system.
Aha, yeah.
And when you're in the system, you have to go along with the protocol
Mm-hmm.
because that's all they know.
Yeah.
And protocol, as the surgeon described it to us,
Yeah.
was 300 and something pages of if this, then this.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't believe that everybody fits in a box.
Yeah.
If you want to be in a box and you feel comfortable in a box, then good.
Oh, that's good.
Stay
Yeah.
in a
Well,
box.
some people feel comfortable with that. Yeah.
But I wanted to do something that would make me healthy
Mm-hmm.
and not just feel like I was being, okay, I have cancer now, da-da, you are on this treadmill for the
Well,
rest of your
one of
life.
the things that's so different now from, say, 20 years ago is the information that's out there on the internet and a lot of misinformation. So
Tons.
So what did you do there? I think you did a
I
lot of research,
did
right?
a tremendous amount of
Yeah.
research, months and months and months of just pouring through
Hmm.
people's webinars and all the the research
Hmm.
material of a great group of
Yeah.
doctors, and I discovered that it is possible, and people have done it,
Hmm.
have gotten well
Hmm.
from cancer, not just temporarily they're
Yeah.
okay, but it could come back any second type of thing. It's that they could totally reverse an illness
Hmm.
that they had. It wasn't necessarily cancer. It could be heart disease.
Hmm.
They have discovered
Diabetes. Diabetes.
they've
Uh-huh.
discovered that you could actually clean out your arteries
Right. Reverse it.
by reversing
Hmm.
what you eat,
Yeah.
and exercise.
Hmm.
And there's just a few things that you have to do
Hmm.
that could totally reverse heart disease.
Yeah.
And heart disease is a horrible thing to have, and you have these horrible operations with the stents and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and none of that stuff lasts.
Yeah.
But
If you
it
look at
would,
the research, it
yeah.
shows that it's a temporary fix.
Hmm.
It's a Band-Aid more than an actual
And it
cure.
seems like that's what most doctors tend to do, is give you a temporary fix,
Hmm.
because the whole medical
System.
system
Hmm.
seems to be set up to just maintain,
Yeah.
uh,
Not to cure,
not to cure.
but to maintain and try to make the quality of life better. But a lot of times it
Right.
makes it worse. If you
Yes,
think about
because
chemo
you
and
fix
radiation.
one thing,
Yeah.
you make something else.
Yeah.
Just like when I found out that my cancer was on my left side,
Hmm.
and that's a horrible place to do radiation
Right.
and chemo, because it totally could affect, or most likely would affect, your other organs.
Especially the heart. It's close. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and your
Exactly.
liver and
Hmm.
everything else.
Yeah.
Everything's on your left side.
Yeah.
So, except your appendix, which
Yeah.
I already had out.
Oh, you had that.
So,
Okay. Okay.
but there's so many things on your left side, all these organs that could be affected
Yeah.
by the radiation treatments and things like that. And I didn't want to go through that process
Yeah.
and take that risk that I would set myself up for something even maybe worse
Oh, absolutely.
down the line.
Well, yeah, I
So,
think everybody knows that if you look at the side effect warnings on
mhm.
pharmaceuticals, for instance, that it can cause things like death.
Right.
So a lot of us think, okay, well, that's not going to happen to me,
Yeah.
so I'll go ahead and take the pharmaceutical.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our objective is to we're not doctors, medical
No.
doctors. What we want to encourage is that people do their own research and form their own second opinion.
Mhm.
When you think of second opinion, you think about going to another surgeon or another doctor and
Yeah.
getting his expert or her expert opinion. on whatever it is you're struggling with.
Right.
Our thinking is that what we need to do is to encourage people to, I think the internet provides a lot of great information, but you need to know how to sift through the misinformation,
Right.
see what really applies to you. So our real objective in having these conversations and doing these videos is to provide some resources. There's many doctors, as you mentioned, Dr. John McDougall and Dr. Campbell. I'm trying to
Dr.
think.
Esselson.
Yeah, Esselson. There's just so many out there that have done their own research as well as looked at, done secondary research, look at studies that have been done 50 years ago up to today.
Right.
That have been ignored by the medical community. And our belief is that if we can strengthen our immune systems, optimize our immune systems, that is our best way to fight disease.
Right.
And so we look at a kind of a three-column approach, the physical side of things, right, and the mental side. And by physical, we mean exercise and rest, but also the third column would be what we eat. Because what we put into our system, obviously, is going to have an impact on our immune system if you look at any of the research out there. And yet, there's a lot of doctors, because they aren't, many of them at least, most of them are not trained in nutrition when they go through medical school. I believe that they should avail themselves of what's out there nutritionally and how it impacts arteriosclerosis, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, all these things. Right. And some do.
Even MS.
Yeah, MS. It's amazing, really, how diet can affect that. And I was fortunate. The last primary physician that I had was someone who kept up to date on those kinds of things. And we had a lot of really good discussions about those things. And that got me interested. But more importantly, your studies, what you did after you discovered you had cancer, your research online, got me to thinking just in an opposite direction. For so many years, I have been very much proponent of needing some meat protein, for instance, in order to get your proteins. And I used the Atkins approach and the keto diet to maintain my weight, because I've always had a struggle with weight from the time I was a kid. So I was always afraid of starch and carbohydrates. And,
so like the bad word.
Yeah, it's a bad word. What I found for myself, and again, it's not necessarily for everybody, but I could maintain my weight on a high protein diet, but what was it doing to my arteries and things? And the research that we've done in the last 9 months has shown me that I've switched totally over to a plant-based diet. Been on that for over 6 months now. I actually lost weight. That wasn't my objective. I wanted to maintain weight, but I've actually lost weight, which is even better. I'm down to my high school weight now in the 170s. I was up as high as 225 at one point a couple of years ago. And then I would go back to the Atkins thing to try to lose it. Because I really think that our weight is very important as far as inflammation and sickness. So
everything I've read said that's really true.
Yeah. So the starch or plant-based diet has really surprised me. And I feel the nice thing about it, see, the problem with diets, if you will, the diets that we think of, I think of diets anything we ingest, but most of the time when we think of diet, we think of denial or giving up something. And I have found that if you're on a high protein, low carb, you don't get hungry because you don't have the carbohydrates triggering the hunger base.
Right.
But I'm satisfied on the plant-based diet because I can eat as much as I want, especially vegetables and fruits and so forth. And because I'm married to such a great cook, it's not a boring diet at all. You make it, I can't tell that I'm not eating meat a lot of times.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. And if a person is willing to, to put a little effort into the cooking side of things, you won't even know that you're on any kind of special diet. And I don't know.
And we've developed some really interesting
recipes.
Foods,
recipes.
And so we're going to be sharing those and showing you how I fix them.
Yeah.
Which is really, there's an emphasis on speed because you don't want to spend all day long in the kitchen.
Right.
Well,
most people don't because they don't have the time to do that.
Right.
Most families have both husband and wife are working if it's a couple situation. Also, if you're fixing food for one, that's kind of challenging, but you
Mhm.
have some answers to that as well.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
so we'll put that on the website and we'll talk
And if
about it.
you're also in a situation where you're the only person who wants to try
Yeah,
the plant
that's
based
true.
diet,
Yeah,
and everybody else wants to continue eating the way they're eating, it's an
easy.
easy fix.
Yeah, it is a very
totally
easy fix.
fix.
Yeah, because you can
So,
fix the basic thing and then add meat or something if they want to
right,
eat their meat.
right.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. And so, what we're going to do over the next weeks, months, years, however long it takes, is to provide a lot of links to free resources. One of my favorite sites is Dr. John McDougall's website because he has the studies actually on there that you can access and look at the numbers yourself and make your
Right.
own conclusions. And Dr. Edelston, Dr. Campbell, and so many others that we've
Mhm.
watched on YouTube and so forth have some great information, and it's free.
Mhm.
And that way you can form your own second opinion, and that's our objective to help you do that.
Yes, to help you do that, and to also you can learn a lot by going through our journey
Mm-hmm.
and the things that we have experienced or are experiencing.
Right.
Like we just had blood tests done
Yep.
to see how our cholesterol
Mm-hmm.
was and everything.
Yeah, primarily
See
a
how
lipid panel.
our
Yeah.
our lipid panel, because we hadn't had it done since we started this particular
Right.
diet, and we were both on statins
Mm-hmm.
before.
That's right.
And so we're not on statins anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even though a lot of doctors say, "Ooh, everybody over 50 needs to be on statins,"
Yeah.
there is more information out there that I think we can help you with.
Yeah.
We really want to do this for you and for us,
Yeah.
and would like you to come along on our journey.
Yeah,
I think
and
you'll enjoy it.
we suggest that one of the criteria that we use is follow the money trail, and the thing that has kind of made us skeptical, let's say, over the years, is the fact that we know that there's a lot of money involved in pharmaceuticals and radiation, chemotherapy, those types of treatments, and it's pretty revealing when you really look into the details on what those treatments do. And how much do they really benefit you? And again, our emphasis is on helping ourselves as well as you to build your immune systems so that your body naturally fights off things. I personally believe that we have disease attacking us all the time, and our immune systems are designed to cure that. And if we keep that healthy, but if you look at the effects of radiation and chemo, for instance, in cancer, it really tears down the immune system. It wipes it out temporarily, at least. So we're looking at a healthy way to make everybody healthy, and this is a totally free program. We're not looking to generate one dime of income on anything. And we want to provide the resources for you that are free as well. And I think you'll find it very enlightening. We certainly are enjoying the journey.
Yes.
So until next time, we'll talk a little bit more about some specifics and some resources that you can go to on our website as well as other people's websites.
So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Next time.